Hey, how you doing? It's Chef Tom over at the Cardinal Cafe. Today we're going to work on a white bean chili. With the temperatures getting a little cooler outside, we're going to start making some more heartier dishes. Having just washed our hands, the first thing we're going to do is grab our gloves, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to start with cutting an onion. Now remember, the most important thing is a sharp knife, okay? We're going to go over this every single time we do one of these filmings, is that your knife has to be sharp. A sharp knife will slice, a dull knife will tear. You always want your knife very, very sharp. And what we're doing with this onion today, we're just going to do a fine dice, because this onion and chicken is what's going to start the base of our chili. When you cut an onion, you take it down the middle first, and then you just take this outer skin and you just peel that whole thing off. And that's going to make your onion just a lot cleaner and easy to work with. You're going to take and you're going to cut the ridge of the onion, and then you're going to take it this way. Okay, you're not going to cut all the way through. And then we're just going to take it, and look at how beautiful a diced onion you get there. I want you to remember to always use the claw formation with your fingers. Okay, always keep that thumb behind your fingers, because if you don't, you will very easily take the end of your thumb off. That's not anything we want in any classroom. We're going to take the second one, and when you get a little better at this, it gets a little easier. And that sharp knife just goes right through it. Take it this way. Give it a quick turn. Okay. And get those onions in our bowl. And now, the first thing we did on our cutting board was our onions. And that's because we still have to cut up chicken. You never want to follow chicken with onions. You always want to work onions first and then chicken, because chicken, you're always going to run the risk of having salmonella present. So you never, even if you're going to cook those onions, you never want to cut chicken first, okay? The only things that we're cooking for the hot part of the meal are chicken and onions. We're not going to cut anything else other than that. So now we can go ahead and do our chicken. Again, super careful. We're going to have to cut parallel to the cutting board, because we're using a random chicken breast, and a random chicken breast is a nice fat chicken breast that we got to take down a little for dicing the chicken. And again, you just want to let your knife do the work, okay? And these knives are razor sharp, and that's what you're going to want every single time, is a super sharp knife in your kitchen. And see, that just rolls right through. You notice my fingers are in the claw position, so that I don't have anything out front that can get cut. The nice thing about fingers in the claw position is that you may scrape your finger with the knife, but you're not going to cut it. Where if you have your thumb out here and you're cutting, that's what's going to happen, okay? You want to use the claw with your thumb behind your fingers. We're just going to take this chicken and put it in our bowl. And we're going to do our other half. And I know I continue to talk about the sharpness of the knife, but the fact of the matter is a dull knife would never slice through this chicken this easy. And then we're just going to finish this up real quick. And we're going to put this chicken in our bowl, and there's our chicken for our chili. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn around to the stove, and we're going to start cooking. Okay. 2. All right, we've got our chicken diced up, and we're going to go ahead and fire up our pot for our chili. We're going to start off with a little bit of olive oil. just a couple tablespoons. Now, one thing I wanted to talk about a little bit about this chicken, you can certainly use ground chicken, ground turkey, whatever you want for your white bean chili. But the fact of the matter is that I use chicken breast and dice it up because I like to know exactly what's going on with the meat I'm using. And not to say that that's an issue with ground meat, I just prefer using whole muscle meat. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start with our chicken. And we're just going to move this around this pot a little because the fact of the matter is we don't want to totally cook it right now. We just want to get it to the point that it gets started cooking. We're just going to let that go for a little bit. All right, at this point, we're going to go ahead and grab our garlic and get that in the pot. And what you're going to notice at this point is that already you're getting this amazing smell coming up from the pot. All right, let's go ahead and grab our spices. What we're using for spices today is we've got black pepper, salt, cumin, and oregano. And we start out with a teaspoon of each. Honestly, chili is very personal to people. You can use as much or as little of these ingredients as you want, or you can put in some of your own herbs and spices. This is just what I like. And I'd be lying if I said we didn't put in a little extra garlic powder and a little extra onion powder. Just because I like to fortify my flavors, I like to really build it up. Yeah, our chicken's looking really good. Oh man, it smells amazing right now. You're toasting all those nice herbs and spices. Now, with the chicken right here, this is when we start adding our other ingredients. We're going to get these nice green chilies in here. A lot of flavor there. We're just going to give that a little stir. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to throw in a couple of onions. We're going to get those right in our pot. We just want to get those cooking with everything else. And now we're going to want to let this cook for a full minute or two just to start getting these onions cooked up a little with our meat. And honestly, I like to use equal parts of chicken and onion because I really like onion. And I think that, you know, it adds a lot of flavor. I've never worked anywhere where somebody said, take that back, it's got too much flavor, okay? This is the real deal. And you can see that our onions are cooking up nice. Everything's looking really great. We're just going to give that a minute and we're going to take a look over here. So, one of the things that I really like to do is when I make white bean chili, I like to use a little tiny bit of roux to thicken it up just a little. Because even after my sour cream and my heavy cream are in there, I just like to tighten it up a little. Because basically the sauce to this is one of the 5 mother sauces. It's a bechamel. And we will at some point go through all the mother sauces. But the 5 mother sauces, we remember it by Better Hope Tomorrow's Very Exciting, Bechamel, Espanol, Hollandaise, Valou, and Espanol. I think I got those in the right order. So now you can see in this pot that our onions are breaking down just a little. Smells delicious. This is right where we want to be. So we're going to go ahead and grab another spatula and our butter. And we're going to switch these burners so that you can see the roux being made, because roux is simply 1 part butter and 1 part flour. Okay? We've got some nice soft butter here. We're going to get it right in our pan. And our chili is just cooking up a storm. It's absolutely perfect right now. And you can see our butter melting. And as soon as that butter's melted and hot, we're going to add our flour to it. And now that our onions are nice and cooked down, we can go ahead and grab our corn and get that in there. It's just a mix of some white and yellow baby corn. Super fresh and delicious. And you know, one of the things that you're going to find out about me the more we cook together is that I don't like processed food. Because really, it's so easy to cook really great food without using a bunch of processed ingredients. You know, scratch cooking is very easy, and it's actually pretty quick once you start getting the hang of it. So, our butter is just about ready to incorporate our flour. We just want to make sure that we try and use even parts of butter and flour. We're going to get that last little butter melted up in there. There we go. Now, the one thing you don't want to do is brown this roux. With this being a light colored bechamel sauce, you just want your roux to be lightly cooked. Okay, you don't want to overcook it, because if you brown your roux, you're going to wind up making your sauce a different color than you want. It'll be darker than what you want. So that right there is where you want your roux. And all that roux is nice butter and flour, equal parts. Now, our soup, our chili, is absolutely perfect and ready to add our sour cream. We're going to add about 1.5 cups of sour cream here. We're going to go ahead and stir that in with everything else. And the funny thing is that at this point in the process, everything starts to leach a little liquid. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to switch these burners again so that you can see what's going on in this pot. And you can see that sour cream is just looking really great in there. And now, we're going to get our cannelli beans. Now here's an interesting thing about these beans, is that I like keeping the juice on the beans because it adds flavor to your chili. A really interesting thing about the juice from cannelli beans is if you're making a vegan meringue, you can whip up that juice from the cannelli beans and it'll get frothy just like egg whites. It's very interesting. All right, so now our beans are in here. This is starting to look like some really great chili. Now, at this point, I like to go ahead and get my heavy cream in here, because we're not going to boil this. We're going to let it come up to a hard simmer, but we're not going to boil. Now, we're just giving it a nice stir. And now we just need it to get hot to the point that we're steaming. And once we get good and steamy, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put this roux in there. And then we're going to turn that heat down and just let it simmer. Okay? So at this point, I'd like to go back to the cutting board and we'll start cutting some garnish to go with our white bean chili. Hey there, here we come with a really hot pot of white bean chili. You can see how beautiful and thick that is. We've gone ahead and incorporated our roux. And now, just before plating, we're going to go ahead and we're going to work a little garnish magic, okay? Again, super sharp knife. I like a few jalapenos on mine. Take the jalapeno, just slice her down the edges like this. And that way you're not dealing with any of the pith or the seeds. And you just take her, lay her out like this and give her a quick slice. Okay, and we're just going to go ahead and add that to the jalapenos that are in our cup that are ready to go. And now we are going to change knives because we're going to work on this avocado next. And the thing is, in a segment before this, we talked about avocados, how easy it is to cut yourself when you're opening up an avocado. So always just take your time. You never have to be in a hurry when you're doing this, okay? And sometimes you get a surprise. They're not always perfect, but we can get what we need out of here to make a perfect product. Okay? We're going to take a slice that way, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to peel it. Okay, and we're going to do this, the other side at the same time. There you go. That's what we're looking for, okay? And we're going to take that, and we're just going to take a few perfect little slices right off of it. Okay? And now we'll get rid of that brown at the top. And that's what we'll have for a garnish for the avocado. And now we've got this cilantro. Now, cilantro, we can go ahead and use the same knife as we did for the jalapeno. And we're just going to grab a little handful of this cilantro. And we're just going to start cutting her. Okay, there doesn't have to be anything real special for this. We just want to break it down. And when you're chopping the cilantro, you're going to notice the really fresh smell that comes out of this. It's so delicious. And you know what? We're going to take one handful of this cilantro and go right into our chili. Boom. Beautiful, okay? We're going to stir that in. Yeah, look at that. Now, for all common purposes, this chili is totally done. I'm going to grab some fresh gloves, and we're going to dish up a bowl and garnish it. Why am I changing my gloves so much with this food? Because this is ready to eat food, okay? Ready to eat food, you always have to use gloves. Earlier when you saw me cutting up the chicken and the onions, I didn't necessarily need gloves for that because that was food that was to be cooked yet. But with ready to eat food, you always need your gloves. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to dish this up. Just take our time so we get it all in the bowl. And we're going to set this guy over here. Now, when it comes to garnishing, we're just going to take our time, grab our knife, and just lay on this avocado. Okay? We're probably just going to take a couple of these little jalapenos, put them in a little pile down here just in case somebody doesn't want them. They can easily scoop them out. We'll put that cilantro on over there. We've already got our crackers on the plate. Bam, that is perfectly ready for service. I hope you enjoy this recipe. If you're looking for us to do something that you want to see, you can email us at tbelisle@kcpublicschools.org. Thanks, have a great day.
Welcome back to PE with Coach K. I'm so glad that you have tuned in today because I have something fun and interesting. So last time we did a cup toss challenge. This week we are going to do a shoe balance challenge. Now, if you remember from previous segments, I told you what type of movement balance was, and I wonder if you remember. So think back. There are 3 different fundamental movements: locomotor, non-locomotor, and manipulative skills. Which one is balance? And I will tell you at the end of this segment, so I hope you remember, and then you can see if you're right or if you're wrong, okay? So today, all you are going to need is shoes on your feet, okay? Make sure, now, they don't have to have shoestrings, but if you can find some shoes around your house that you have that have shoestrings, it would be nice for you to use them and you would know why. So make sure you have shoes on your feet before we get started. If you need to press pause, go put some shoes on your feet and then come back and then we'll get rolling. So this shoe balance challenge will consist of 3 different rounds. Each round will progress. Remember, the round before would always prepare you for the next. So round 1, we are going to see if we can balance. So you're going to balance on one foot, but you are going to untie your shoe, take the shoe off, and then put the shoe back on, tie it back up. You never let your foot drop until the shoe is tied and then you are done. But instead of us doing this in 1 minute like we did with our previous lessons, we are going to see if we can do it in 30 seconds. Now you're gonna try to beat 30 seconds. You don't wanna go over. So you're gonna balance, untie the shoe, stand up, just straighten up, put the shoe back on, tie it back up, and try to beat 30 seconds. So you don't want to go over. Now, if you're at home and you want to kind of extend it because you want to go at your own pace, that's fine. And then you can also challenge yourself to lower the time every time you do it. Okay? So that's round 1. Round 2. Some of the same things that we do in round 1. You're going to balance, take the shoe off, untie it. Well, you have to untie it before you take the shoe off. So untie it, take the shoe off. My foot never touches the ground. It's still up because I'm still balancing. You're going to toss 1, 2, 3, 4 times while on one foot. After you toss it back and forth 4 times, then you put the shoe back on, but I'm still balancing. Tighten it up, tie it up. You're still on that one leg, and then drop your foot, and you have to beat 30 seconds. Try to make it in 30 or less. So that is round 2. Once again, for round 2, similar to round 1, but we're just adding on the 4 toss. So we balance, untie, take it off, toss 1, 2, 3, 4, put it back on. Ooh. Now you're gonna feel this in your standing leg. Tie it up and then drop. But remember, whatever you do on one side of your body, you have to do on the other. So we'll do 30 seconds on the right, 30 seconds on the left, and that will be for every round. So round 3, similar to round 1 and round 2, but we're adding just a little bit more. So once again, we balance, untie, take the shoe off. You're gonna toss it 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you're going to put the shoe on top of your head. Oh, I forgot I had a bun. Put the shoe on top and hold for 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. After that, then you put the shoe back on. Tie it up and drop. So for the third round, we're gonna do a minute because we have to hold the shoe and balance the shoe on our head for 10 seconds. So remember, whatever we do on one side of our body, we have to do on the other. We have to make it even. Ooh, Jesus, okay. So yeah, one side may be easier than the other side depending on which leg is your strongest. All right, so just a review before we get started, and you can use this time to make sure you have shoes on your feet, tie them up, get them ready because you don't want to cheat. Have them tied before we start. So round 1, we balance, untie, stand up straight, put the shoe back on, and drop. We have to make it in 30 seconds or less. Round 2, we balance, untie. After we take the shoe off, we toss it 4 times, put it back on, tie it back up, and drop it. Make it in 30 seconds or less. Round 3, balance, untie, take the shoe off, toss it 4 times, and then put the shoe on top of our head. We are going to balance the shoe for 10 seconds, so you just count 10, 9, 8, all the way down to 1 to yourself. Then put the shoe back on, tie it back up, and then drop it, and you have to try to make it in a minute, okay? So let's go ahead and get ready. I hope you are ready for this challenge. If you are not ready, it's time to get ready. You turned on this video, so now you have accepted the challenge. So come on and do it with me. Round 1, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Make sure your shoes are tied. We have 30 seconds to beat. We're gonna do our right, and then we're gonna do our left. So I'll give you a little time in between, but we're gonna get started in 10, 9, and I think I'm gonna switch legs. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. We untie. Untie it. Stand up straight. Put it back on. Don't let the foot drop. Tie it back up and drop. So I hope you beat 30 seconds. The timer is still going. You got 10 seconds left. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time is up. So now it's time to go on the other side of our body. Let's go ahead and get ready. Shake that leg off, whatever leg that you were standing on, shake it off because we're getting ready for the same round, still the same thing, we're just using the other leg. So we're starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, okay? Untie, take it off, stand up straight, put it back on, tie it back up, don't let the foot drop, and done. You still got 10 seconds left. Try to make it in 30. You got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Round 1 is complete, okay? So now let's go ahead and get ready for round 2. Remember, round 2, we take the shoe off, we toss it 4 times, and then put it back on. We still have 30 seconds, okay? So let's switch over to the other side. Are you ready? In 3, 2, 1, let's go. We untie, then we take the shoe off, and we toss 1, 2, 3, hold your balance, 4. All right, time to put it back on. Ooh. Tie it back up as fast as you can. Don't let the foot drop until you're done. You still have 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Okay, remember, whatever we do on one side, we have to do on the other. Get ready, shake the legs out. I'm gonna give you a little rest. But we're gonna start in 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Untie. Ooh, ooh. Take the shoe off. Toss 1, 2, 3, 4. Hurry up and put it back on. Tie it up. Don't let the foot drop. And drop. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. You still got 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Okay, round 2 is complete. Now it is time for round 3. And I'm gonna give you a break because I'm gonna just go ahead and re-explain round 3. So round 3, similar to round 1 and round 2, we untie our shoe. We take it off. Okay, we already know that. We toss, 2, 3, 4, but then we put it on our head and we balance for 10, 9, 8, all the way to 1. Once you get down to 1, take the shoe off your head, put the shoe on, tie it back up, and try to beat it in 1 minute. I'm gonna go ahead and shake my legs out. So give your legs a good shake because you worked them out, now you need to shake them out. So we're gonna get started in 3, 2, are you ready? 1, and let's go. So let's take the shoe off, untie it, toss it 1, 2, 3, 4, hold your balance, put it on your head, find something to look at and hold for 10, 9, 8, can you push your arms up? 6, out, 3, 2, 1. All right, take it off. Put it on, tie it up. Hurry up and beat 45. Okay, you got about 5 seconds left. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Done. Okay. Whatever we do on one side, we have to do on the other. So go ahead and shake that standing leg out that you were just on. But we're going to get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Untie. Okay, stand up straight. Toss 1, 2, 3, 4. Put it on your head. Find one place to keep your focus on for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, take it back off. We got about 10 seconds. Ooh, tie it up. Ooh, I'm losing balance. And drop. Ooh, made it just in time. Time is up. Okay. So go ahead and shake your legs out, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. We have finished round 1 to round 3. I hope you stayed through each round and that you accepted this shoe balance challenge. Once again, you can always, at your own time or at your own leisure, perform these different challenges with your mom, your dad, or anybody that you are around and kind of make it a family thing and make it a little competitive. So whatever you were able to do today, I want you to challenge yourself to do it again and do it better. So maybe you take 30 seconds to 20 seconds or 20 seconds to 10 seconds. Once you feel like you have mastered one of the rounds, then you can take it to another level. Maybe you toss more than 4 times. Maybe you toss 10 times. Maybe you throw it up and catch it. You can change it any way you like that is best for you so you can see improvement in yourself. So continue to stay active. I'm glad you came here with me and I'm glad you accepted the challenge. We will see you next week.
Hi KCPS, this is Miss Coronado, an art teacher from East High School. In art, we talk a lot about observation. And with observation, that just means that we're looking at something. Now, we're not just looking at it, but we're really observing it and taking the time to notice every little detail of the object or whatever we're looking at. So today we're going to be working with observation. The materials that you will need today, you will need something to write or draw on. Now I have this sketchbook, which is just plain paper. You could use printer paper. You could even use lined paper. You could use a sticky note, a note card, maybe even the back of an advertisement that you don't need, or maybe the coupon's expired. You could even use a torn off piece of cardboard. Anything that you can draw on. The next thing you need is something to draw with. So I have a marker. I actually have a colorful marker today. You can use a pencil. You can use a pen, crayons, paint, watercolor. You could ask your mom, sister, or maybe you have some lipstick or lip gloss, or maybe you go into the fridge and find some ketchup. Anything that will make a mark. You want to have something to draw with. And lastly, you need something to draw. So when you're looking for an object, you want to make sure that it's something that shows form or has 3 dimensions: length, width, and height. I have my super cool East High School Bears mask, but this is pretty flat. It's almost 2-dimensional. I probably wouldn't draw this, and I'm not going to. You could find a really cool mug that you drink coffee from. This one's really special to me. I've had it for all of my time teaching in Kansas City Public. It's got some cool lines going over here, a hole down the middle, and of course a funky handle. So I could choose this as my object. Maybe you have a stuffed animal. Stuffed animals are really great as objects because they have lots of texture. And this little guy's really nice and puffy too. And of course, all my bears know my friend Hamish. So this is Hamish, number 1 in my life. And he has a big old family of duckies at East High School. You also have objects on you at all times. And I'm not just talking about your phone. You have your hands. Your hands are 3-dimensional, so they can be considered as objects when you're creating art. Your body has form. It can be considered as an object as you're creating art. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be choosing an object, and we're going to be creating contours. So contour is just a fancy word for outline. And when we're talking about outlining an object, we're not just talking about going all the way around the object. We're talking about those little teeny tiny outlines when we're really looking at it. We're observing. So, when you're looking at your object and drawing your contour lines, make sure that you're really looking, that you're observing. Let's get a clean piece of paper. And let's get started. So for my high school students, of course, your object today is already on you. Your face. Now, for those who want a really big challenge, of course, I highly recommend you find a full-length mirror and draw your whole form. Or, if you don't have a full-length mirror but still want that challenge, find a buddy. Draw them. Draw them as they're doing some kind of action. For us today on Fine Arts Friday, we are going to be using a mirror. I'm going to use Hamish as my prop, and I'm going to set the mirror up so that I can see my face as I can touch my drawing pad. Now, if you don't have a mirror readily available, you can always use selfie mode on your phones or on your Chromebooks. You can pop open that Chromebook, turn on that camera, and there you are. I luckily have a mirror today, so I'm going to be using that. I have my drawing utensil, I have something to draw on, and I'm ready to go. So as I am observing, I want to make sure that I am looking at every little detail. Since it will be at least your face, make sure that your hair is in the position you want it, that your braces are in the position that you want it, that your eye boogers are wiped off, your nose boogers are wiped off. Make sure that you look how you want to look, because once you put this marker down, it is not coming back up. So I'm going to be looking at my face, and I'm going to be drawing at the same time. And what I mean by that is I'm not even going to look at my drawing pad. Now, what we're doing is called blind contour, but that doesn't mean I'm closing my eyes. It means that I'm only looking at the object, not at my artwork. So, the mirror, my face, being the object, I'm going to start observing, and I'm going to start drawing. Now, as I'm drawing, I want to get every little detail. Miss Coronado has a zit under her lip, so she's going to draw that zit. I drink coffee, so my lips are dry. We're going to make that happen. I'm talking so I can see my teeth, so we're going to make that happen too. And as I'm moving, I want to make sure that I'm paying attention to all those little details of my face. And again, we are not looking at our drawing. We are only looking at our face or the figure or the object that we are drawing. Now, of course, I'm moving my face a lot as I'm talking to you. I highly recommend going to a quiet space where you don't need to move your face a lot, because now I'm just like, I don't even know where I'm at. I'm looking at my eyeballs, but as I look away from the mirror, I'm forgetful, and I sometimes forget my place. So make sure that you're in a space where you have the opportunity to focus on what you're doing. Maybe the place where you go to take your online classes. All right, I know I'm at my other eye now. And after that, I have to work on my hair. Now, as I'm working on my hair, I have to remember that hair grows from my head. So that means that every strand of hair starts at my head. A lot of big arm motions here where I'm using my elbow to help guide me. I got lots of crazy hairs going over here, so we'll have some fun with that. All right. Once I lift my marker up, that's it. And then we can look at the masterpiece that unfolds before us. And I will say that Shrek the Ogre would really like this one, right? So, the biggest takeaway from this activity is that you need to observe your object. And don't worry about what this looks like. Don't worry about what you're drawing as long as you're observing. And even though this looks funky because I lost my place a few times, I still can see where my mouth is supposed to be, and that's my nose. I actually did pretty good on spacing my eyes out. And that's definitely my hair. So make sure we're observing. Now, of course, a challenge for you. If you have another color, or maybe even just a different type of drawing utensil, pick that up. This time, you're going to do the same thing over what you already did. So if you want to stop right here, that's okay. But for those who want a challenge, here we go. I would fix your hair again, fix your face again, do whatever you need to do to make sure that you look like you want. And once you set your marker down, it's time. So this time I'm starting with my nose. I guess that's a little strategic because it's in the middle of my face. Usually I try to start with the eyeballs. I don't know why I started with my mouth last time. I think because I was talking. But as you're moving around, it's going to overlap the lines that you drew in your previous drawing. And because it's a different color, you'll still see it. I'm on my eyeball now. And I try to get the bags under my eyes because I know they're there. Got the chin, smile lines. Again, that zit under my lip. Can't go away, never does. All right, now we're up to the other eye. I didn't know how I was gonna get there, but I didn't lift my marker up, did I? All right, now for that hair. I don't even know if this marker is working anymore, honestly. It might not be. It's kind of old. But that's okay, I'm not gonna stop. Why would I? I'm drawing. And my hair's crazy right here. I might get some more lines on this part of my hair. All right, and once you're done, you lift up your marker, and that's it. Now, I would personally do probably a third one, or to make it a little more funky, I might grab my color sticks or some watercolor. And because I used a permanent marker, that's gonna be fine with watercolor. The washable markers though, this pink one, wouldn't be fine with watercolor. So I'm going to use my art sticks. I'm going to look at my drawing and I'm going to find different shapes in my drawing and use different colors to show those shapes. So I'm not going to be coloring in my eyes, coloring in my nose, coloring in my lips. I'm going to be finding shapes, observing what I already made, and using a different utensil to fill it in. Now I can find those areas that overlap and color those in, especially in my hair. There's a lot of fun areas that I could color in there. But I'm gonna make sure that I move all around my drawing. Because if I don't move all around my drawing, then I'm gonna have all the blue in one area, all the green in an area, all the red in an area. And I want this to be cohesive, to show unity. I love doing blind contour drawings because they really challenge you to observe. They challenge your eyes and they always look so funny. And that's the point. The point is that we're observing that we're not focusing on perfection. Nothing's perfect. Art is never finished. There's always something that you could do better. I actually really like this one. So I'm probably going to take it home and work on it more after this today. If you want to have even more fun, you can always change what you draw in between layers of your project. So instead of drawing another contour of my face, I could have done my hand over my orange face, or I could have done my little sheep or Hamish. Turn myself into a duck person. These contours, whenever I start coloring them in, they remind me of Pablo Picasso's Cubist drawings. So if you really like Pablo Picasso, then this is a really great activity for you. And even if you don't like him, it's great practice. Oh my God, my teeth. What did I do here? All right, KCPS, I think that's all the time we have today for Fine Arts Friday. But go, have fun, be creative, and please be safe. And we'll see you soon. Thanks.
So as we leave you today, we want to give you one more tune. This is called Yolanda, another cumbia you might hear in a place like Colombia or South America, anywhere around there. And we thank you for joining us today. We'll be back another time, hopefully, to share some more music with you. I'm Mr. Cunningham. This is Paseo Academy, and we will see you very, very soon.